Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Make It With Mod Podge. I'm Steve Piacenza, and today Cathie has 7 home decor projects for young adults to show you how to make. She's going to be using the dishwasher safe formula, and she's also going to be using the gloss Mod Podge with this tie-dye scrapbook paper throughout all the projects. She also has a lot of tips and tricks to show you, so stay tuned and take it away, Cath.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm Cathie Fillion, and I am going to teach you 7 really cool, quick projects that you can do using this fun tie-dye paper. And I'm going to share a lot of tips and tricks, so if this is your first time using Mod Podge, this will be a great video for you. We've got 7 different designs, and all of these designs were made with the idea of some fun, quick, easy room decor that you can make and some room organizers. And all of these projects are perfect for a beginner. So let's just dive in. The first thing I want to show you is how you can create some fun customized letters for your wall. Now this is just a paper mache letter, and I've gone ahead and painted it with some pink apple barrel paint, and I've gone ahead and cut out from our paper a B, and I want to show you how you want to do that. So if this is your first time, you're going to take your letter and you're going to place it right side down on your paper, and then on the back side you would just go ahead and trace around the letter. And one tip I want to show you is for flat edges, I like to just line it up right along with my paper. That way I don't have to worry about cutting a straight edge. And you want to make sure you always cut out these inside parts too. And I do it on the back side, that way I can erase any pencil marks, and boom, you're ready to just cut that out. And you can see that I've gone ahead and I've cut out our letter. So I want to show you how that goes down. So we're going to be using the Mod Podge gloss for this project. You could use gloss, matte, satin. Let's go ahead and add that just to the back of our paper. And you want to make sure, this is another good tip, that you're getting all those edges. I like to do this on a sheet of wax paper because it protects my surface, but also I can make sure I get all those edges really, really good. Let's go ahead and get all the way around. There we go. Then you'll just pick it up, just like so, and we'll position it right on top of our letter. Now I like to pre-paint my paper mache projects because sometimes paper mache can bubble up on you. It's not necessarily properly sealed. So if you just give it a quick coat of paint, that will seal that. Now sometimes paper mache has a little bit of layers of paper and texture, so the paint will help with that too. And then I like to press from the inside out to remove any air bubbles. And you just go around, and it's that easy to apply a piece of paper to a paper mache letter. Now at this point, I would set this aside and let it dry for about 15 minutes and then top coat it. So I'm gonna set it aside for a minute here, and we'll move on to the next project, and then I'm gonna show you top coating all at the end. So another fun thing for rooms is these trinket boxes or little ring boxes. And again, I've gone ahead and painted the box. And for this one, I want to create a look of our tie-dye paper around the outside edge of the little box. And when I do that, you can see I've created a little bit of, or not created, I've cut the paper a little bit longer. That way we have a nice pretty overlap. So when you're doing something that's around, you just want to measure up and down and cut your paper to that height, measure around, cut your paper to that measurement, but be sure to add a tiny bit extra there, just for that overlap. So we're gonna add this paper the same way. So let's add our Mod Podge down to the paper, making sure we get all those edges. Got a little bit on there, don't worry about it, because we're gonna seal all that in a second. And then you just start, put it into position. And when I'm doing something that's round, I really like to make sure that edge is down. And again, you work from the center and all the way around. Center, keep moving it into position. Just kind of get it into position just like so. And there we go. You've got paper all the way around it. Now I'm using, oops, we got one little bubbly spot there. Let's go ahead and press that out. There we go. If you get any kind of bubbles, just press them. There we go. And now we will set that aside and we will talk all about top coating in just 1 minute. Go ahead and press down any bubbles you think were pretty good. There we go. Look how quick you can change something up. It looks so cute with our little lid on it there. So adorable. So we're gonna top coat this in 1 second. I'm gonna set it aside. So again, that little tip there, when you're doing something that's round, make sure you add a little bit extra paper to that around measurement so that you have enough for overlapping, because you want that nice pretty, where are we? We want that nice pretty overlapped seam, just like that. Now, another really fun thing to do is these different little bowls. There's tons of these wood bowls at the craft store. And I went ahead and I painted it with some apple barrel purple paint. And one of my things I wanted to share with you today is everyone thinks about doing Mod Podge and paper on the outside of a project, but you can do it on the inside of a project too. So think, you know, a little bit inside the box when it comes to this as well. So for this project, let's see if I can make a little space for me. There we go. I went ahead and I created a paper template of the shape that's on the inside, okay? And creating a paper template is really gonna save you time in the long run if you're doing a lot of the same repetitive things. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of our Mod Podge to the paper here. Get that down, and then put it right into position. And one thing that I want to show you is when you get to these corners, you can go in with your nail and just give it a crease, okay? Smooth it down, then go in and crease it like so. Put any of your papers down like that, just like that. So now we're gonna set this aside. We're gonna do all the top coating at the end. So I'm gonna set that aside. I've got one more little Trinket box. I love this box. And one thing that I wanted to show you, I'm gonna show you a couple different template ideas. So if you have a box that's kind of shaped a little bit different, okay, you may, and I'm going to show you the same technique on this vase. One way that I love to make templates is I just take a scrap paper. This is leftover from sticker paper that I printed on. So I just take it and you want to line it, lay it on top of your project, okay? And then I go in and I crease down. Crease down like so, all the way around. This is a really fast way to make a template. And then when I pull it off, I can see a pretty good idea of where I want to cut. Now another way you can do that is you can position your paper down and kind of wrap your hand around it or use a rubber band, and you can go in with a pencil and just kind of naturally go right over there, and then you would do that all the way around it, and when you take it off, you've got cutting lines. So that's just a really quick, fast way to create a template for doing any of your Mod Podge projects. And let me see here, I've got my piece all cut out and ready to go. So it's going to be the same thing, just going to add the Mod Podge to the back of that, making sure I get all of my edges, and then we will position that right onto the top of the box. And these boxes are just a couple of bucks at any craft store. They really make fun gifts, fun place if you want to just put some rings or little trinkets or coins. I know so many students are, you know, not necessarily going to be going away their first semester this year at college. So I wanted to come up with some fun things, some fun projects using this cool tie-dye paper. I love this bright tie-dye paper. Just some fun things to kind of uplift the room, give it a new thing, some new organization things. And there we go, we've got that down. Again, working from the center and pushing out. That's really important if you're getting started with Mod Podging. Start in the center and work your way out. And then we're gonna be ready to top coat that in a quick second. Now, what do we need for organization? I need, if you've got pets, You've got dog leashes, right? You've got leashes, keys, all sorts of things, cords that you may want to hang from a handle. So this one, I just wanted to show you a couple tips. One, this came raw wood and I went ahead and painted it, but before I painted it, I removed all of the hardware and then painted it. So that's really important too, and it makes it so much easier because trying to paint around those hooks is like not fun. So just remove them and base coat your whole thing with whatever color you want. Now, one thing I want to share with you too is you can create whatever shapes you want with the paper. So you could have done a strip, but if you want to do a pattern, you can easily create a pattern just by cutting different shapes out of your paper. So for this we're doing a triangle pattern. So I've gone ahead and cut out some triangles, and you can see that I've got one pointing up, one pointing down. So I've got one more one to put in, okay? And on the edges here, those were just triangles that I ended up cutting in half just to fill in the edge. Same thing, I made a little template because I was cutting them over and over again. So I'm a big fan if you're doing something that's repetitive or the same type of shape, just to create a template. Makes it so much easier to get a more precise shape. And I usually just hand cut everything with scissors. I do use paper trimmers every now and then, but I usually just use scissors. So let's position that down. See how I'm using a little bit of that blue as a border, the blue paint. Let's start in the center and push down and go around. So again, if you're a beginner, you could have done one piece, but I think cutting up into little shapes really is fun. You could do hearts, squares, whatever you want. There we go. We're ready for top coating that one too. I've got this cool wood vase. I love these. These would be really fun to put like a faux succulent in. You could even fill it with makeup brushes or paint brushes or hair brushes or art supplies. So we're just gonna do a pattern around it like that. And same deal. I wanna show you a quick way to do a pattern. So if you wanna do it, you can just take any kind of piece of paper and position it on there. Okay. Just like so. And you're gonna rub. Same way we did that other thing. If you've got an unusual shape that you're trying to figure out the pattern for, you can go in, you can rub the pencil on there, and that will give you a cutting line. So I've gone ahead and cut out a piece. Now one thing I want to tell you about is that these wood pieces are never created equal. So they're always a little bit off. So once you've cut your piece, you do want to go ahead and check and make sure. So again, you can kind of rub it there. And I see it's a little bit tall there. So let's trim that up. Just go in. I can trim right on my creased line. That's how easy it is. So you can really let the paper do the work for you. Trim that up. And then we'll go ahead and add our Mod Podge to that. This is gloss. And hey guys, if you have any questions, I know I'm going quickly because I want to show you these 7 different fun, quick projects that you can do. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. We're going to be answering questions live. Let's go ahead and get that lined up. Don't worry if it goes over because we're going to be top coating the whole thing. See, I trimmed it and it still needs a little bit of a trim. And you can trim right onto the project if you need to, just like that. And then just go in and wipe your scissors with a little baby wipe or a damp paper towel. So working in the center, all the way up and out. You can see we've got cute ones all the way around. This is such a fun, quick and easy project for any kind of things that you want to organize or putting in some silk plants. Now every room is going to need some coasters, I think, right? So let's talk about dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Dishwasher safe Mod Podge is so cool. I'm not planning on putting these painted wood coasters into the dishwasher. Look how cute they all are. We did a rainbow color to go with that fun tie-dye paper. But what I love about this formula is it's so heavy duty. Once it's cure time, which is a long cure time, 28 days for the dishwasher top rack safe. Once that's done, you can create projects that are top rack safe. Now you wouldn't put wood coasters in, But you know what's great about this is if you use it on this as a top coat, it's really solid. I mean, it will really, really, really be sturdy if you put glasses on there and stuff like that. It can withstand the moisture. So another quick tip, cutting circles can be really like overwhelming for people. So I want to show you what I like to do. If I have a circle project, I don't worry about going all the way up to the edge. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I also like having that little border around there. So what I usually do is I look around my house and I try to find something that's about the size that I want it to be. So this glass is perfect. And then I just take it right onto my paper, trace around my glass, and boom, I've got a great circle ready for me to cut out, which I've gone ahead and done because nobody wants to see me cutting paper, right? So for this, we're gonna use the dishwasher safe Mod Podge as both the glue and the sealer. So I'm gonna add the dishwasher safe Mod Podge here, and we'll just pick it up, place that into position, starting at the center and working our way to the outer edges. No bubbles there. So let's go ahead at this point with the dishwasher safe. I'm gonna go ahead and give it one top coat, just like so. And for these coasters, I would put the dishwasher safe on both sides and around the edges once I have the top all done, just so that it has the same look all the way around. So for dishwasher safe at this point, you would wanna let this dry, and then you would go ahead and do a second top coat, and I like to do a third top coat. But let it dry about an hour in between. And then you've got yourself some really fun and cute coasters. And you can buy these wood coasters at the craft store. You can do this same technique onto tiles, hardware store tiles. And then some people like to put a little felt bottom on them or something like that. So there's really so many different fun things that you can do. So now let's talk about top coating really quick. Mod Podge is a glue and a sealer. And so what that means is that you can use the Mod Podge to glue down your piece of paper, whether it be on a wood surface, a metal surface, glass, or paper mache like this letter. But we want to seal that as well. That way you can wipe it clean when you're dusting and things like that. So to seal it, you're just gonna go in with your Mod Podge and you wanna do nice long brush strokes. This is also going to give it a finish. So this is gloss, so it's gonna have a little bit of a glossy finish. If you didn't want any shine at all, you would use matte Mod Podge that has the yellow label. And if you wanted just a little bit of a satin, or some people might call it an eggshell finish, you would use the satin Mod Podge. So let's go ahead, long brush strokes up and down, just like so. And once that's dry, you are good to hang that on a wall or put it on a bookshelf, and that's gonna dry perfectly clear. It looks a little milky, but the Mod Podge will dry perfectly clear. And you can do the same thing to any of your projects. Now the most important thing is you don't want your brush strokes to be all, you know, kind of crazy like that, because it's gonna dry like that and you'll be able to see them. So make sure that you're doing nice brush strokes. And don't worry, that's gonna dry all clear. Now, another thing you can do is you can go ahead and use Mod Podge to seal the wood on your project. And that will give that a nice glossy finish once that's all done. So if you have any questions, guys, please just leave them in the comments and we will be answering any of your questions live. Today's video, we just wanted to share a bunch of tips and tricks on like template making and surfaces and what sealing really means. So on our bowl, same thing. And I want to show you how for something like this, we did our paper all the way on the inside. You can add your Mod Podge. Let's get a bunch in there. Add a bunch of Mod Podge, and then you'll just go in, starting at the bottom, and seal all the way up. And then once this is done on the inside, and I could handle it on the inside, once it's dry, I should say, I would seal the outside too. That way you get a nice, pretty, glossy finish on that paint. So just go in all the way around, sealing that paper down. And that's going to, if you're throwing keys in here and coins and sharp things like that, that's gonna really protect that paper and protect your design and make this bowl last a super long time. So set that one aside, let it dry too. How's our little ring dish? This is great. Same deal for something like this. I'm just gonna go in and and go up and down. If you get a little bit too much, just wipe, and then just go in and make nice, smooth brush strokes up and down. You can seal that top edge if you want. There you go. Very, very, very simple. And for flat surfaces like this, very easy to do, obviously. Sometimes the bowls and the vases and things are a little bit harder. Same deal. I like to start in the center, and you want to do long brush strokes. And like I said, it looks milky, looks like it's gonna be like hazy, but all of this is gonna dry perfectly clear. And how fun is this tie-dye paper? I just absolutely love it. I think it's so cute for back to school. I know so many kids, so many students and grandkids, you know, they're not heading back the way they normally did this year. So these are some fun ways that you can upcycle things that they already have, or just get some simple wood blanks at the craft store, or look for some fun things at the thrift store that you could give it a coat of paint and pick one piece of paper. All these designs were made with this one type of paper, and all of these designs took 3 pieces of scrapbook paper. And you can get scrapbook paper for under 50 cents. So find a print that you like, and that's a really quick way to create a new look. One of Steve and mine's favorite things are the paper packs, because they are already pre-coordinated for you. Somebody has done all the work. All you have to do is get paint colors that match. Now I've got one last thing to seal, and that is our vase. And this is a really good example of how different it's going to look when you get that onto the paint. Look at how shiny that paint's gonna look. Everything's just gonna pop. This is a really fun, if you wanna put, you know, faux plant in here. This is wood, so if you were to do a real plant, you would need to put a proper planter inside of it. But you could do anything, you know, organize craft supplies, even kitchen supplies, whatever. Go ahead and just go up and down like that. And you would just continue around until the whole thing is sealed. So that's it. Mod Podge is a glue and a sealer. You can upcycle stuff that you own. Just grab your favorite piece of scrapbook paper and think about how you can create some fun home decor. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And remember, we will be back here next Thursday with some more tips and tricks and ideas. Check out our weekend watch parties. And Plaid and Mod Podge wants to see what you're making, so make sure you hashtag Plaid Crafts and Mod Podge in any of the projects that you're making. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and we cannot wait to see what you're making. So see you next time, guys.